Imagine canceling plans again. Your phone buzzes. That flicker of guilt crosses your mind for a second, but then relief washes over you. The door closes behind you. Softly, the noise disappears. Your shoulders drop. And here's the thing most people never say. That relief isn't just emotional, it's neurological. Your brain is literally processing reality differently from people who crave going out. You didn't click this video because you're lazy, shy, or missing out. You clicked because something inside your mind works in a way most of the world doesn't understand, and it has shaped how you see, feel, and think for your entire life. Most people assume loving home is avoidance, that it's fear, social anxiety, or weakness, but that's exactly what society tells us. In reality, people who love staying at home aren't hiding. They are noticing, reflecting, processing life on a level that's hard for the outside world to grasp. Quiet is not empty. Quiet is where clarity lives. And once you see that, everything starts to make sense. Think about it. Every sound, conversation, expectation carries more weight. People who prefer home are often built to process information, not chase it. They notice patterns, absorb subtle details, and think deeply. Too much stimulation doesn't excite them, it drains them. Over time, their brain discovers a secret few recognize. Stillness isn't isolation, it's survival for the mind. Home becomes less of a location and more of a mental state, a sanctuary where thoughts can breathe and emotions can unfold without judgment. This is why loving home feels emotional rather than logical. It's not, "I like being inside," it's, "I feel like myself inside." The parasympathetic nervous system, the body's rest and recovery mode, activates more easily in familiar environments. Heart rate slows. Cortisol drops. The HPA axis, which controls stress under pressure, finally relaxes. Your nervous system knows it can let its guard down. And most people never notice that this is happening. It's automatic, invisible, and profoundly reassuring. But here's where it gets even more interesting. Loving home isn't only about comfort, it's about control. People who prefer home direct their attention inward toward thoughts, feelings, and meaning. Outside, attention is constantly pulled outward, social rules, timing, tone, performance. At home, focus returns to what truly matters. And for this type of mind, that inner space feels richer than any crowded party ever could. Have you ever wondered why socializing can feel exhausting even when nothing bad happened? This explains it. From an evolutionary perspective, this wiring isn't a flaw. Early humans needed different types of minds. Some explored, some risked, some hunted. Others stayed close, observed, remembered details, noticed subtle dangers, and conserved energy. The minds that preferred staying near shelter weren't weak, they were stabilizers. They kept groups alive with foresight and patience. Loving home wasn't a flaw, it was a role, essential for survival. And now, centuries later, your brain still carries that legacy. Modern society, however, treats this wiring as wrong. Loudness, visibility, constant busyness, these are praised as virtues. If you prefer staying in, guilt sneaks in. Are you missing out? Are you lazy? This cognitive dissonance, the gap between who you are and who the world tells you to be, can quietly drain your energy. And most people never realize it's not them, it's the environment that's misaligned. And yet, loving home doesn't erase emotional conflict. Even if you cherish solitude, there's often loneliness, a quiet fear of being forgotten, subtle resentment toward a world built for louder, faster minds. Safe and isolating at the same time, that paradox defines the emotional core for many, and it's why staying home can feel both restorative and quietly heavy. There are benefits, though, that make this wiring extraordinary. People who love staying at home cultivate rich inner worlds. They reflect deeply, feel intensely, and think in layers. They listen better. They form fewer relationships, but those relationships are meaningful and grounded. Home gives them the space to process emotions rather than bypass them. That depth isn't accidental, it's intentionally nurtured, and it allows a clarity that most people never achieve. Yet even this sanctuary has risks. Comfort can quietly shrink your world. Neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to adapt, requires gentle stress. If home becomes the only safe place, the outside world can start to feel threatening, not because the world has changed, but because your nervous system stopped practicing engagement. Depth is a strength, but it needs balance, or it risks becoming fragility. That's why balance matters. Home should be a charging station, not a disappearance point. Step out intentionally. Engage selectively. Stretch just enough, and then return. That rhythm keeps your nervous system flexible while honoring your reflective nature. Growth doesn't require constant exposure. It requires consistent, gentle practice. Without it, even the richest inner life can feel incomplete. There's another truth that goes unsaid. People who love staying at home crave authenticity more than stimulation. At home, you don't perform, you don't explain, you don't pretend. The vagus nerve, which regulates calm and emotional balance, responds to this authenticity. Your body relaxes when it no longer has to act. That relief is profound because it allows your mind to exist without friction, a rare freedom in a world that constantly demands attention. If this resonates, the goal isn't to change who you are, it's to work with your psychology. Make your home restorative, not just comfortable. Choose social interactions for depth, not volume. One meaningful conversation can nourish you more than 10 shallow ones. And practice gentle exposure to the outside world so your nervous system remains adaptable. Here's the final reframe. People who love staying at home are not avoiding life. They are protecting a sensitive, intelligent system that processes reality more deeply than most. In a loud world, they choose quiet. In a fast world, they choose slowness. That's not weakness, that's discernment. And perhaps the haunting truth is this. Maybe home feels better because the world itself never truly pauses for people like you. You are the quiet witness, the observer, the thinker, and your presence, your stillness, might be the pause the world desperately needs.